The Charlotte Knights have launched a new scholarship program.
2 student athletes will get $1,000 to play college baseball at a local HBCU and, more importantly, to carry on a legacy.
The award is named for former player and Charlotte resident Eddie Gigi Burton.
Queen City News reporter Savannah Rudisell sat down with the folks who will soon give out the honor.
So the Knights organization is offering a brand new scholarship, and it is with some very special intent behind it. To talk a little bit about it, we have Gail Burton, the sponsor, the founder, and the motivating force behind the Eddie Gigi Burton Scholarship.
Yes. It's good to be here and very thankful that the Knights agreed to give us 2 scholarships this year and going forward. And as a community, I have a bunch of people and we're gathering together to make it larger. We'll be giving a scholarship to a female, hopefully, and playing softball here at Johnson C. Smith University. And then the other scholarship will be to a young gentleman going to an HBCU school. And I think that Eddie would be very proud of that dynamic. He was really into bettering the community, and he had a passion for making sure that our kids were treated right, making sure that they have opportunities, and this is just a perfect way to do it. And this year it's going to be 2, and hopefully it will grow as the years come.
So we're already talking about expanding it.
Yes.
How did it come to be in the first place? How long was this process of getting the scholarship established?
Well, after Eddie passed away, we were talking about it during the time that they were doing the Negro League nights and the events with the Negro Leaguers. And Eddie and I would talk about, I said, wouldn't it be good that if we could just get a scholarship in your name? And he agreed at that point. And I talked it over with Tommy Viola, and he said, sure. And then, of course, Dan, he just immediately agreed. How much? And the rest was history. And hopefully, we'll be able to help 2 students every year, continue their education. One thing that we did want to include is the fact that the Negro League is, most of the players are passing over, and with that, the chance of the concept going away or dying, so they have to kind of do a little deep dive into the background of the Negro League as a part of the application process, so that they can just understand the importance of keeping this concept alive. So
in the research, they're not just going to find that Eddie was a great ball player, but he was a big part of the Charlotte community.
Yes, he really was. He was a big part of it, thanks to the Charlotte Knights. And he was very, very much a part of the program that the Knights had here, and just very instrumental in just getting things done in the community with his wife. Another good point about why this scholarship is so meaningful is because Eddie started at 16. And he was playing with the big guys. He was a youngster, but he had that drive and that passion for baseball, and that drive and passion never left. And it's really interesting because we were 10 years into our marriage before I really knew that he was a Negro Leaguer. But he would definitely be very proud. He would just be very proud. He was very proud of his wife. And his wife is very proud of him.
When you think about who you may be able to offer this scholarship to, when you think about which 2 recipients you're going to see come early April, what kind of person are you envisioning?
One that has that shows on paper through their writing, how they feel about their community. There's also an essay there as to why they chose a HBCU school. And it's very important for our community to just support and encourage the students to go to HBCU schools. I'm very, very excited about what this one thing can do to help our community, and it's all about our future. And if we don't invest into our future now, we're in trouble.
Well, it'll be certainly interesting to see who gets the scholarship. It'll be the opening week of the Knights season coming up here in the first week of April. For more information on how to apply for the Gigi Burton Scholarship, you can find that on our website at qcnews.com.